What is up, everybody? We are live. Welcome to
My
Hey
cookie.
Sister Holes. You threw
You were
me
gonna
off.
say Toll House.
No, I was gonna say whole sister, like Whole Foods, like we're whole.
uh,
Hey Sister, Soul Sister, more please.
yes,
Corona. I don't even know. It's
we are
supposed to be
still in
Corona
Corona.
edition. That's still
We're
happening.
still in Corona. Yeah.
hmm
Yep. I got my
we
cookie.
are so. We are Ursel. Wow.
It's been a
Also,
minute. We miss alive, and we just don't know how
we
to talk
forget how to
after.
talk. Yeah, we are also amongst a. I mean, it's a social movement.
A
Basically a
movement.
civil. Yeah, it's a movement. We're in the middle of
Yeah.
a movement. So there's a lot of protest. There's writing. There's people fighting on Facebook. A lot of people fight. Oh, to be honest, I don't see a lot of people fighting, but I've been seeing, and I'll let you guys know this. Oh, wait, no, we're fine. We're fine. We
Are
are
we
live.
private again?
No, we're live. It's just that um it's how I named this. I put
oh.
change and I thought it said like change the start time and I was like, what?
Oh.
No. We should be live. We
Oh,
should
good.
text
Good.
the Soul Gang if see.
Maybe
But
they see us.
yeah, so what was I gonna say? Where was I?
Fighting on Facebook,
Oh
but you
yeah,
haven't
yeah,
really
yeah.
seen a lot of fighting in Facebook.
Well, not in the way you would think. So I
Mm-hmm.
follow a lot of I don't even know if it's fighting, but I follow a lot of female entrepreneurs
Mm.
and the um there's a few women that are, coming from white privilege that make a lot of money and they have these coaching programs, but they're not all like inclusive and so they try to brush this kind of movement off and like I saw one she like posted and it was like she had just moved so she's like oh like just like her general post like I'm happy today I'm this and this and people were calling her out on it. How are you happy with what's going on? We know you live in another country. She lives in Canada. And she's like, you're supposed to empower female entrepreneurs, but by you kind of not hearing it, they called it tone deaf. And another person did something else too. And these are really, really big powerhouses. They make like over $1 million a year and they were getting like called out by by a lot of people and so yeah I see they're trying now but their first initial response was like oh don't worry about it and it's like no it's time to figure it out homie figure it the fuck out um because stuff like this when you have a platform and use it
Mm.
use your privilege to make the change so I
Mm.
thought that was interesting that was going around. And like, I mean, I'm in that world, so I see a lot of it. And I was kind
Yeah.
of like getting stressed out, like, where's the next thing that's happening? But then I was like, wait, no one else sees this. Like I had this, but it kind of is true because I did go to an event in October and I was probably one of the few
Excuse me.
few
I'm just getting
Latinas.
comfortable.
I
Okay.
was just one of the few Latinas in there, and I
Mm.
didn't see a lot of like black women. I didn't see a lot of other women of color. It was more like, white girls. And the group I was with, even though they were white, they were cool. Um, but sometimes you just want to see more of you there, like a
Yeah.
good mix, and it wasn't like a mix,
Ooh.
So,
Erica,
but
you're kicking it off with so many topics
yeah,
already.
but what I like about this was that
Mm.
I actually before any of this happened, I had intentionally started to follow female entrepreneurs that
Yeah.
were not white, that were, other ethnicities, women of color, and how I stumbled upon one person that is she's actually super cool. I was like, oh, I like your style. It was funny because she was part of like a bundled package,
Mhm.
and then they were showing all like all the coaches that were part of this like big bundle pack sale, and I was like, oh, like she meets my people that I want to like follow more, you know, and like relate to more, and so I followed her, and then like the next day was when everything was exploding in our faces. I was like, oh, I was like, I didn't come here for this, but okay, like I came here for, you know, just to follow more female entrepreneurs that were women of color. So I thought it was interesting.
Whew.
I thought you were gonna talk.
I am.
You're like,
It's
"Ooh."
just like
Do you need a moment?
this has been just so many things. And well, you know, so I'm gonna just put it out there. If you think that this is is a trend, if this is just a passing thing that you're just waiting to blow over, get that out of your system right now.
Wake
Or
up,
get
Gina.
out.
Wake up. Wake
Yeah,
up. Yeah.
it's time.
It's time. Yeah.
The explosiveness of the things that are happening, this is a response to a repeated and cumulative ignoring of the basic human right to live.
Yeah.
So,
Hi, Pep. Before we go on. Hi, Pep
before I go on.
Man. Hi,
Hi
Kelly.
guys.
We're just talking about all, you know, the stuff that's going on right now, obviously.
Yeah, like, well, I mean, just say it. You know, like we're talking about Black Lives Matter. It's
Yeah,
it is like,
yeah.
I think I honestly like. I'm going through like really like just like bursts of like varying degree of emotions, and at the core of it is this. Yeah, like it makes sense. Like this is not a passing trend, and it's really becoming really apparent to me as the days goes on. Like this it cannot be a fleeting moment in time. Like when
Yeah.
you know, I probably won't have kids, but I want to be able to tell my nieces and my nephews about this moment sparking a movement that created actual change. Actual change. And I've been doing a lot of reading, a lot of listening, a lot of I haven't done a lot of watching. I started some today for Netflix. I kind of went through this like progression of reading different facts on the internet, online, various leaders, various activists. I started that podcast you were talking about, 1619. 2 thumbs up. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Start listening to that today, guys.
It wakes you up a little bit of what we didn't learn in school.
We did not learn a lot.
I'm only on the second episode.
We did not learn a lot, guys. And it just like brings it wow, like I'm still wrapping my brain around the gravity of this, right? This is like conceptually I get like it's generational. This is like centuries. But even from like the moment even before the moment Black people stepped onto this country, already a systemic set of rules, systems, policies that had them less than. And it was it blows my mind, and I will never fully understand ever the gravity of that trauma. And I think that's why it's time. It's no accident to me that it's right here, right now. Hi, Shy. It's no accident to me that it's right here, right now, that you and I and us are alive in this moment. That the people in place right now who are here, who are able and willing to do the work and to make the change, we are all in place. And I refuse personally. I refuse to let this be a passing moment of time.
Yeah, and I don't think it will be. I think I mean, it was amazing. Like when I'm seeing videos of people out there protesting, and it's just amazing how many people are out there. I know there's some violent protesting, but that happened in the civil rights movement,
Yeah.
so that is
Yeah.
to be expected of the situation.
Yeah. I mean,
But there's so many people out there, like more than the damn Karens that wanted the salon open.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
means this other people want the change. And I was listening to the Try Guys yesterday, and they were talking about them going out in LA to protest, and how like their responsibility, because 3 of them are white, their responsibility as white people is like if like someone that's black is about to get arrested or something, that they kind of go in front of them and they get arrested because they have more privilege. Like they will probably get off easily. So like them as allies take that bullet, basically, because they know for them it's going to be less of a situation than the other person.
Yeah.
So that was really interesting and cool to hear from them. And like one of them was like, I don't really want to get arrested, but I'll do it, because I know that's my privilege and I will use my privilege for that. So for me, what was happening yesterday was like a lot of people on my feed are, Black Lives Matter, right? A lot of people on my feed. Where I have what I saw a little bit in my feed yesterday, started to see some more of the conservatives come up and be like, all lives matter, and saying like, it doesn't matter, I love all colors of the rainbow, all lives matter. And I was like, well, okay, do your research, because I've in the past have said all lives matter too, because I just thought like with the internet kind of being new, the social media, when it was like not new, but like when we had more access with our phones, when iPhones started getting cooler and cooler and cooler and everyone had them, I was like, well, people are just looking for it because it, they have a camera. And I used to say that. And then maybe a year or two ago, I watched something that really broke it down for me. And like now you're seeing the memes everywhere, right? Like if this house is burning down, you don't go, what about my house, when your house is not burning down? You go help the house that's burning down. So like Black Lives Matters means Black Lives Matter too. And I think I saw something Ashton Kutcher said, because for some people, Black lives don't matter. So I was like, ooh, that hit hard. So, like I really made, like, when I saw that analogy, it clicked in my head. It clicked. And we've talked about this, that I will never know the fear or understand the fear. But I think I understand it, like, not that on an everyday basis, but again, I go back to when the shootings happened, like last summer. Was it last summer? Yeah, it was last summer. There was one Gilroy Garlic Festival, which was primarily a very Latin culture, Mexican culture maybe, and this white guy came and, caused havoc, mass shooting. And then a week later, some kid drove 400 miles to El Paso to purposely target Mexican Americans. And I was walking around in fear for like 2 weeks straight. I was scared. I thought I was going to die when I went to Target. To have that feeling all the time, that is scary, because I was on edge. I was literally on edge. Like I didn't really want to leave my house. We were going to a music festival, and I was just like so anxious and so like scared. And I just remember like kind of every day we got home, I'm like, oh, we survived. Like that's how like scared I was.
Yeah.
And before, I thought I was protected because I live in this town that's majority Mexican. I was like, no one here is going to do a mass shooting. But then when I heard the El Paso story, it was like, oh, someone drove out of their motherfucking way to cause harm. And so I won't fully understand, but I've gotten a glimpse of it. And that and for me that is scary. And so going back to like people that I've seen on social media that are more conservative or have family in law enforcement or are in law enforcement, they're feeling that fear now. And I want to say to them, I don't know if any of them are listening, but that first off, when someone goes into law enforcement, their life is always at risk, right? No matter what. That it's like, maybe not as much as going into the military, but there's risk factor there. You go into this knowing that it could potentially cost your life. Now, imagine if you have that fear right now. You usually don't have that fear normally, but you have that fear right now. If you were Black, you would have that fear all the time. So I'm not anti-cops, but I do think that when they're saying that, they need to also evaluate, like, okay, yes, you are validated to feel what you feel, but also how are you going to be part of this movement to be anti-racist, so that when your husband goes to work or you go to work or your friends go to work, they don't have to worry about that. There's one less thing to worry about. They just have to worry about them serial killers and serial rapists and all that, So, and I was going to say something else, but I forgot.
Whew.
But I had to, like, what one of the things I feel better about is, like, I kind of made my choice is, because I was kind of battling, like, I didn't want to, like, like, brush off their pain, because there are people who, like these, like, law enforcement's family. Like, I don't want to brush off their pain because that's validated. That is scary.
Yeah.
Which is totally fine. I just think, like, for me, I was just like, am I being a bad person because I know this anti-racism is there, and am I just in the middle? And I had to make a choice, and I'm like, I'm pro-life. I'm pro non-racism, right? I'm anti-racist. I'm pro Black Lives Matter. It just doesn't mean I'm anti all this. But with that said, undermine. Thank you. Thank you, Shai. I was like, I don't know what to say. But with that is like, okay, now me in this role is, how do I educate them and go, yeah, I validate what you're feeling. So how are you being part of the conversation and part of that movement? Because even being within law enforcement, you have a privilege to change up the structure, to make it different, to make it beneficial, to make it to actually protect and serve everybody. Because it starts within too, right? And I kind of named this, like, change starts within, because first it starts within you, and then within the system as well. People within the system, the good people within the system, can be like, hey, this is wrong. Speak up and go, we need change. This is wrong. Let's do this differently. Another thing I've been seeing is, like, people super anti-cops. I'm not anti-cops, like, I just know that, maybe we should put more funding into kind of, like, counseling for kids, like, just like invest more in educational in the educational system. Just start off by funding more things that are preventative, right? Because the going to jail and all that is kind of the end game, or like a result of stuff that happened when you were, like, younger, right? But if you had the right things in place, or better education, some counseling, like, the fact that it changes, right? And I've always thought that. Like, I remember, like, a few years ago, I remember finding out that, like, most of my tax money goes to the jail system instead of schools. And I'm like, why? If we invest more money in schools, you educate the children, and you also provide the children that are not privileged with a better education, with supplies, with this. You pay the teachers well, you get good teachers in them, and you give them hope and aspirations to live into, the American dream. when you don't do that, they don't see another way out. So they're going to nickel and dime in the street, basically, you know, sell drugs, do this and that, and maybe go into a life of crime because they don't see the opportunity with what they have. So that's my 2 cents. Hope that made sense.
Totally did. No, it was beautifully said. I'm trying not to have like verbal diarrhea at the moment.
I had a hard time breathing, so it's okay.
I don't even know where to begin.
Maybe start off by saying Nestle Tonel.
I know I can't even get into my other cookies. So deep in conversation.
I know.
Oh. So the more I read, the more that I listen, different podcasts, different stories, you know, the more that I educate myself, the more I'm coming to realize the system is not broken. It's actually working beautifully.
That's what it was designed for. And
it's designed.
Correct me if I'm wrong. And I saw this and I didn't Google it.
Yeah.
The police was kind of created to monitor slaves, or is that right?
I haven't gotten to that. I haven't gotten to that portion of like
I could be wrong, guys. Yet.
Yeah. What I have read or listened to so far is incarceration. Essentially is, and forgive me if I butcher this, from the 13th Amendment abolishing slavery, there's a little loophole in it that says that it says essentially all men are created equal. Slavery is abolished, free men, all of that. Except, so you can't enslave anyone and you can't have them do anything or, you know, be a slave unless they are criminals. So after, I believe, the Civil War, there's a point in time it's called Reformation, I think. Reconstruction. I'm butchering it already.
But the read more.
You know, like a portion of time where Black men were free, but as the time like passed, the you know, the South and all of America used the loophole of that statement of unless you're a criminal, you can't, you know, be enslaved, which then became like propaganda and villainizing and propaganda against like the wildness, the criminality of Black men, and that, you know, and there's I see, and I haven't dove into this yet, but like the policing has like obviously a portion of that too, because they upheld law and order and all of that. So there's still more to learn, and I really don't think there's. So in terms of like incarceration, yes, I believe if you put money in education and preventative measures, I think yes, let's do that. And we need to, like, there needs to be I don't want to call it a regulation, because that's like it. We need to reform the incarceration system, period, because it's old. Well, a lot of them like are like they get so much funding or monies in, and if you have more money coming into a place, of course you're going to put more people in that place. It makes no fucking sense. So still more to read, and it obviously I have like some real like emotional ties to just these topics. Like I'm still finding my way to be able to speak about it in a manner that's clear and I don't like go off. So I'm learning right in this moment. So I would say that I think you hit it on the nail when you explained All Lives Matter. And I think Yes, initially, it's such a beautiful, like, oh, it's so tricky because, like, such a beautiful, let's love each other. Oh my gosh, life is great. Oh, I love everyone. I see no color. It's beautiful.
I see no
love.
color, love and life.
I love it all. And and I am like the people pleaser identity in me that died a long time ago. Like that identity was all about that. And then you got to look at what is happening. It is there is it really can't. You can't say all lives matter when a whole body of people are afraid to freaking walk the streets, to take a jog, to be in their own home or leave the lights off when arriving home. It doesn't make sense. It's not true.
Yeah.
It's a lovely thought, but it is not achieved until truly Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
And I think your explanation was really well said. And I mean, that being said, I am not anti-cop.
Yeah.
I have the utmost respect for first responders, for police officers. You choose to put your life in danger every day. That is the choice you made, and the oath you take, to serve and protect all. Uphold that fucking oath is all I'm freaking asking. So I'm sweating. So
I'm sweating.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to quote Chris Rock. So
do it.
Chris Rock really hit it on the head for me. There's some professions that you do not get to have bad apples in. You just don't get to do it. You don't get to have a bad apple as a cop. So there's work that needs to be done there. And I think that our title is absolutely right. It change happens not yes, within the system, and in that system are individuals. So every single person that wears a badge and who doesn't wear a badge needs to look at themselves and really be critical and look at why do I think this way? Where did this belief come from? Why just knee-jerk reactions? Why do I clutch my purse? Walking down the street and I pass someone of color. Why? Where did that come from? And it's the unconscious biases, the unconscious privileges, the unconscious racism that we all somehow have picked up along the way, inherited. That's the most dangerous because we are not paying attention. If you don't bring those things to light, it is running the fucking show. So bringing it out to the front, calling yourself out, and be cognizant of where that and how it shows up and how it affects your choices, your behaviors, how you impact other people. The first places to look is when yourself, with or without a badge. That's our responsibility. It's our responsibility to get educated and to stand up. I had another point. Okay, I'm trying to remember what you said because I was knocking them down. This is okay. Yeah, I want to do that one. I want to
start within.
It does start with. I mean,
when you look inside your soul, you don't have to be afraid of who you are.
No, not that song.
I know.
I forget.
I was gonna say something that it's an ongoing thing. It's gonna be hard, and you are gonna have stereotypes, right? Because it's in you, right? But like you said, check yourself.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I did that.
Yeah.
Like why did I do that? Like
Right.
that's important. Like it's okay to have to I mean, as long as you're not being an asshole, right? You know, or like check your thoughts. Like, is there something that, like, something happens and you're like, oh, why did I think that? Like, check yourself and like destruct that belief that's been engraved in you since you were a kid because of the movies or anything that you've seen, the news, all that influence you as a kid. And it's gonna take some time because you're, you know, however old you are, it's that many years that that this belief system has been building in your mind.
Yeah.
So you know, but be nice to yourself, right? Don't be like, I'm a horrible person and like just live in the guilt. Like, you're gonna feel guilty, yes, but you know, just feel it in the moment and move on. Like, it's not about being perfect, it's about striving to be better. So
yes.
so
and guys, we're in it for the long haul. Like
yeah.
Like, there's so many levels to systemic racism that this is a thing. This is the battle of our generation right here, right now. Right here, we get to decide. We get to choose how our children, what kind of world they're going to live in, what kind of America they're going to get to have, and the generations after us. We get to choose that right here, right now. It's no accident. It's an election year. It's no accident, you know,
coronavirus.
It's not. It's no accident that we that we were forced into our homes with nothing else to do but to be on social media, watch the news or the TV. Like, I love you too, Megan. Gotta go to the. Oh shoot!
What's the drill for?
She's Army Reserve. Am I allowed to say that?
Oh, I don't know.
Am I allowed to say that? I don't know. Yes, girl, you do it.
Do you, girl?
Do you? I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, this is it. This is the fight of our generation right here and right now, and I will stand like, and I think like that's like, it's an honor and it's scary to be a leader in that way. Like, Eric and I could have this platform, and you guys know since day one that we were going to use this platform. We were going to use it to highlight like stories and things that matter, and that matter to women, that matter to women of color, and friend, like, and just like really highlighting the things that we don't get to, you know, just we may not see in just mainstream media. We were going to use the platform, and here we are. And it's on, like, honestly, like it's an honor and scary, and it's really truly like up to all of us. And I think that you know, use your platforms, and you don't have to you don't have to create a podcast. You don't have to go live. You don't gotta do, you don't gotta like,
you gotta do like all,
you don't gotta do all the things, but you do, you know, like, take a stand, share what you know, share what you learned, and however way you see it, or like, it just, the more people say, this is no longer the standard. This is no longer, I am unwilling to live in a country like this. I'm unwilling to have any more generations feel the same kind of fear. That is when, like, we get to push things out and make a different way, a new way. And it's like, we get to be leaders right here, right now, and for yourself and for your families and for your friendships.
Is the movie? Are you watching 13th? Is it? Is it called
Yeah.
13th?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so it's about the amendment, right?
It is about the amendment.
It's
It's
so.
whoo.
I love that director though. I've
It's a
heard
good.
it's heavy.
Hey, Ava does. Didn't
She
she do?
When They See Us, and she did a
Yes,
Wrinkle in Time. She did a Wrinkle in
yes,
Time,
yes,
which is
yes,
like
yes, yes.
totally nothing to do. But
I haven't seen it, but like,
have you seen which one? When They See Us or Wrinkle in Time?
neither.
Oh,
Neither.
When
Yeah.
They See Us.
That's on my
I
agenda.
cried when I finished because it's a 4-part. It's a mini. It's a limited series, 4 parts, and I think each part's like an hour and a half. The last one, I was like crying, but I mean, we've talked about this before. I was pissed that it like didn't get as many awards.
But
It lost to
Yeah.
Chernobyl, which was like even cinematically how Ava is so. And I haven't seen 13th, but I know it's like one of her like first films that got her on the map. But the way she shot it, so cinematically, so theatrical, so beautiful. Like there was things she did, and I was like, wow, like how, and it didn't look corny because you could tell was like in some of the scenes, like she kind of takes you. It's not like kind of like how Chicago did it. Remember, like they were like talking, and then all of a sudden, like when they would perform, they were like in the stage, but it like transitioned really well. So she kind of does that with some of like the kids like inner thoughts.
Oh wow!
And heighten the story, but it's not corny. It's actually really well, like it's super well executed. So some of the stuff we did, like this is one I can't even talk about it because there's just one scene with one of the little kids. I mean, we all know that they went to jail, but like the younger kid, I guess he played the trumpet, and she made a scene where it's like him in the street on a chair, and he's like playing the trumpet, like just something happened, and then that solo like trumpet. I just was just in awe that just what she did with that.
Yeah.
And not to see them win as
that was now I got now I remember. It was about representation, but I just realized I didn't do the Chris Rock joke.
You didn't finish it.
I finished the joke. I went off on a tangent. But he says, so yes, like some professions you just can't have any bad apples. It's like having a pilot. Like most of us like to land, but we have a couple bad apples that just like to crash. Like you just some professions you just don't get to.
Yeah.
Like you just don't. So anywho, but yes, and you bring that up with Ava. I can't pronounce her last name.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
I can't do it. I'm so sorry.
I don't know how to read. I don't know how to read. So
yes, you do. Anyways, but I
don't know how to read hard words. Okay,
but I think that's the thing. Like representation, get the voices out there. Put people in leadership. Put like people of color in leadership roles. Like our voices, like are important, and they need to be heard.
Yeah.
So I think this is a long road. This is just the beginning. And, like I am also really proud of where I live. The cheese stands alone. So Kelly's
Mallory
signed on. Kelly's having buffering issues. And then Shai is not alone. Buffering. Oh,
so that's why she's alone. The cheese stands alone.
We have I had a thunderstorm pass through. That's why my hair is like super curly. Charlie and I got caught in it in our walk. So maybe that's why. I don't know. I had another thought and I lost it.
Now, no. Representation matters.
Yeah. Representation matters. It does. Totally matters.
It does. Yeah, we could switch over to some whack ass stuff. I don't know if you've seen this.
This wasn't whack. I actually think this is the result, and this is like the movement. This is like this is the literal fire.
No, this
that pushes us. But
this stuff's gonna like, I don't know if you've seen this, but there's like some Instagram influencers that are like going to the protest sites to like take pictures and then leave. Have you seen those?
Erica, don't. This is like for real? Because
Yeah.
Is this for real?
Yeah. So, oh yeah, you didn't finish the Chris Rock joke. Oh,
I just did. It was the airplane, the pilots. Did you? Was I buffering? No, that was the joke. I butchered it. I'm sorry, Chris Rock.
Just butchered the joke.
Yeah, thank you, Shy. It was about the pilots. You know, so I'm a pilot. Most of us like to land.
Some of us like to crash.
Some of us like to crash.
Yeah. So I think. Well, first one was a reporter, and I don't know what magazine or newspaper, but she like some guy was boarding up his shop, and she like was like took the like drill away from him and like used it to take a picture, then walked away. And she got caught because people were filming it. There was this other girl that stood in front of like a Verizon that had like things shut, glass broken, and had her boyfriend take a picture, and she's like standing there like she's like in like Lululemon, and like she's facing it, and her boyfriend took it from the back. And then I saw this other one where this girl's all like sexy goth in the streets, and she's like Black Lives Matter. She's just like posing all sexy, and I'm like, are you for real?
I'm horrified. I'm fucking horrified. Are you?
Homie, there's people.
Don't have words for that. That like that is.
Yeah, I saw it this morning. Perez Hilton poses a lot. This is a girl.
Oh, they caught her on video.
Yeah, and they're like, this fucking like that's so annoying. Like, don't go.
Yeah. If you're not gonna push the push the message,
yeah,
or the movement, or if you're gonna go there and talk to start shit, don't fucking go.
There's just some people to post to be trendy and like don't really want the change. And I think that's where my struggle was, because like I was posting, but I was like, I don't want people to think I'm just posting to post. Like I actually care. But that was in my head, and I was like, no, I actually do care, and I'm actually like going to do stuff and like figure it out and be more outspoken. And it's the little things over time. It doesn't have to be any big grand gesture at the moment, So then I think I was just like in my head, because I like saw all these other online business coaches like, getting told. So then I was like, I need to say the right thing. And I was like, well, I don't have that many followers, so I'm cool. I'm just starting out. I don't need to be like crazy. And then like if you follow me, I have a podcast called My Immigrant Life. Like I'm pro like stuff, so I'm just like
yeah. And we're gonna mess up.
Yeah.
It's
funny because for me the messing up just didn't. For me, it wasn't about messing up. It was me people thinking that I'm just doing it because it was the trend or something. That's where. But then I was like, I got over that. I was like, that's not even what I do. Like,
yeah.
Like I like what I like. I'm not. Sometimes I don't even like trendy stuff. Like when things get too trendy, I like want to throw up in my mouth. So, and it's like I don't. This is not a trend. This is just like this is something.
Yeah. This is
bigger. This is a movement, and this is just this is about people and being equal. And my arm hurts. I worked out. I haven't worked out like all week, like hard workout.
Oh gosh.
It wasn't even like that hard of a workout, but I'm feeling it in my arms.
I'm living the hard workouts because there's just so much. Like I was supposed to take this is such a mundane conversation for the topic at hand. I'm not even. Never mind. Okay, I'm next. I'm good.
Oh, you know what? Okay.
No, I'm good.
Cool. Yeah. We don't have to do that. Yeah. But
my goodness, we went off a little bit, but that's great. Well, no, I feel like it was needed. Like I think Erica and I when Wednesday. Eric and I, letting you guys know, like we really made a really intentional decision not to go live on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
We really wanted to make, like, we were in our heads and in our hearts about, okay, we need it. Like, we were just called to read, like to listen, to get educated.
I'm listening. I'm listening to podcasts and videos.
All of that. Okay, here. We were called to learn.
There you go.
And I think that's more accurate.
Yeah, that's way more accurate. Because I ain't reading.
Oh man, I've been obsessed.
I do not read.
Well, okay? I do audiobooks. That's reading, but I've been doing a lot of like activist reading. But anyhow, we've been doing, so we were really called on Wednesday to just take the night off and learn.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad we did that. And today, I'll be honest, I didn't know until the very last minute whether or not I wanted to come on live. Erica was ready. She had done like the mindset work to be ready today. And I was still struggling.
Mm-hmm.
I was still struggling with so many different thoughts and emotions. And I honestly did not know. I didn't know how I was going to show up. And I really feel like I have a responsibility to show up powerfully and like as a leader. And I didn't know what that was going to look like. And I was scared. And then of course, like Eric and I talked about, I meditated multiple times. Like, I think I had like that break I told you about, and I meditated again. I was just like, I felt called like to come on like this. I was like, let's do it. Let's go live. Mm-hmm. I think being with you guys has been like, was really helpful.
Yeah.
And I feel really good. Like, I feel really glad that we, and this, we spoke our truth today, mm-hmm. that we shared with you guys, that, like, you guys know where we stand and what we're fighting for, and that it's just the beginning. Like, mm-hmm. we probably won't stop talking about this. Well, of course, we're going to, bring the comedy and all of that. We're going to do that. We'll bring the funny. And we'll also keep talking about it.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah. And I think we'll always bring the funny, because that's how kind of helps me get through life. Like, I could be really serious and then I could be really funny. Like, I love my drama, So, comedy and seriousness. And like you said, like I did the work, and last night I just really decided, because yesterday I was just like super like high anxiety, and there was rumors that like white supremacists were going to come to our town and like have like start riots and all that. So our town is so small, so it's like, what? So it just made me really grateful for like my community. I've met some local artists recently, and they're activists too. So, I don't consider myself an activist, but they are activists as they are artists, and they really put out the word, and like we're telling people, hey, like don't attend this, and we're actually circling around the area that everyone was going to meet up to do it, and nothing was there, and then they ended up just having like a small little like, not even a protest. They were just like celebrating. I forgot what they were saying it was in Spanish, like just saying in Spanish, like in Spanish they use la raza, like the race, like our race, like like they were just saying, like, I think they were just saying that we're like strong or all that. I have to watch the video, but they were like we're united and strong and all that.
I see.
So it wasn't really like a protest. It was just more of a celebration. And I saw videos, and like people were like driving through Target and like honking. Like it was like more.
Uh-oh. Is it the Leia show? Hello?
Huh?
Oh, are you back?
I never left. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, you left.
I did. It was fine on my end.
Okay, you're good now. Your audio seems good. It just like cut out and then you froze. And yeah.
Oh,
But I
okay.
think you're okay. Well, okay. And it was like
ended up being
like a rally, like more like a
yeah,
rally,
it ended up being more like a rally, like you know when kids are washing, like kids are on the side of the street, like with signs like car wash or honk if this. It was like it ended up being more of that.
Interesting. Okay.
At the end of the day. So I was like, oh, cool. And my friend is really funny. He was driving around now. Okay, now I'm losing it.
No, you're good now. I hear you.
You froze now.
Oh, weird.
I never left. My friend, he was like, he showed up like he had a video, and it's like, don't worry, streets are protected, and it's like of the street, and then all of a sudden it like pans to him, and he's like dressed in a Batman costume. I was cracking up. I was like, thanks, buddy. So, yeah, we got.
And I gotta also shout out DC. I do. I gotta shout out DC and Muriel Bowser, the mayor of DC. She renamed a street Black Lives Matter Street Boulevard. Avenue. And like she had Public Works paint on the main road that leads up to the White House. Huge letters. Black Lives Matter.
The White House?
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that.
Yeah. And it was I was up early. So the curfew ended like at 6 a.m. or something like that. And the police officers were actually out there. Just like Public Works still hadn't finished the painting on the street. Plaza, thank you, Mallory, thank you, and Shy, thank you. So they weren't finished, and obviously the curfew was still going, and so they, they were cool and just like let them paint away. Yeah. Yes, Kelly says yes, boss move. It was pretty.
Yeah, here it is. I'm like, I knew I saw that. Okay, yeah. So it's Plaza. Oh yeah. Oh, that's what they meant by Plaza.
Yeah, Plaza. Yeah.
I thought it was like where was that? I'm like, okay. But no, it's cool, and I think more people are for it than against it, and the ones that are against it are just they're scared of change. And have you heard of this Candace something? Candace Coates.
She's I don't think so. Maybe.
She's like, all the racist people are she did like a live, and she's like, I don't understand why when a black person does something wrong, all of us get angry. You don't see that with other races. And I'm like, ugh.
Check your privilege.
I was like, ooh, check yourself, girl. So if you see her, don't watch her stuff. Don't.
I don't even know who she is.
I don't know who she is either. I just
you know what? I'm not even gonna look it up. I'm not even gonna
even look it up. No. It kind of came up in my feed, and I actually have been wanting to do this, so it's like great because like when I was doing like Beachbody coaching and all that, like I had a lot of people in my Facebook because I was like network marketing. I don't know like any of those people. So like I'm not really your friend. So I don't really need you in my feed, and I'm not going to spend my time trying to educate you. Like I'm going to educate the people that I know and that I am friends with, if and like check because if it's somebody I don't really know and just like an internet friend that I've never like fully like met and all that, only met online, like I'm just not even gonna waste my time.
Yeah,
because my energy has to go towards like the people in my circle and all that. So like
yeah.
So there's some cleansing of the Facebook.
Man, like I thank you guys so much for hanging out. Like, I mean, this was definitely healing for me.
That's good.
Yeah,
that is good. I know I have to send an email. I'm still gonna go back to work.
No,
I didn't have time to write the email, and I didn't want to rush, like last minute rush setting up. So I was like, I'll just stop and then come back.
Boom.
And then I'm going to grab some cider and eat quesadillas for dinner because that's all I want. I had pizza.
Well, it's already 8:25 now. I guess I'll eat my cookies and go to bed.
At 8:25? Dude.
I'm tired.
It's early. But the other day I was because I started my period. I totally passed out like the other day. But
welcome to my world.
But you know, when I'm going through these like these times where I'm like checking myself, it's really tiring on me
in general.
It's emotionally draining. So like if you guys follow me on like on the social medias, if I'm not working out, it's because I'm in the middle of like this whole like up leveling myself and in like this turmoil. And it was really funny. Do you follow Amy Silverman on Instagram?
But
remember
I she's funny.
She's a big like beach body coach, and she was
okay. I was thinking of someone else. The comedian. I was thinking the comedian.
Her name, what's her name?
Sarah Silverman.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is Amy. She's like a big beach body coach, and she's been like in the top 10 for like ever.
Oh, Kelly's not kidding. She's coming over.
for quesadillas?
For quesadillas.
Quesadillas and cider? Yeah. Come on over, baby. So she was talking about it today. She's like, I've been like super emotional and I've been off. She's like, and it was familiar and I didn't know what it was. And she's like, this is what happens when you do personal development and you're trying to like, you get faced with like demons and all that. And she didn't use the terminology that you and I usually use. And I messaged her and I was like, yeah, that's like, I was like, guess what? Like I've been working with a mindset coach and this is what we call the up level. So this turmoil that you feel like you're kind of like sad and tired and exhausted because you're really like checking yourself. And what it is like the death of old beliefs and the death of an ego. Right. And you're basically mourning that. And it feels like shit when you're in it. But when you come out of it, you're like,
yes,
hallelujah. So I messaged her that. And she's actually been replying. She's like a big time beach body coach. She never used to like reply. Like I used to always like send her stuff and she didn't reply. But every once in a while,
behind you.
Every once in a while, like send her a message and she'll send me a voicemail back. And I was like, she's kind of like celebrity status in the beach body world. So
like it.
Yeah.
Should we do it? Well, I'd like to send the squad away with some resources for like the weekend. So
homework. I'm just kidding.
Or I mean, if you want to call it homework. So Eric and I dropped a few of these, but one that I am listening to right now is Me and White Supremacy Combat Racism, Change the World, and Become a Good Ancestor. It's by Layla. Right? Yeah, by Layla, Layla, middle initial F. Last name Saad, Saad. I think this book is really interesting. She actually started this journey as like a 28-day Instagram journal prompts situation. And then it kind of blew up and now it's a book. Really cool and really insightful. And I think even for like non-white people, like it also, even for me, I'm like, okay, like these are the privileges that I have, like as
for non-black colored people of color.
Non-black people of color, yes. Yeah. So it's relevant. It's relevant because we all have some level of like privilege that we've been programmed into. So really great, really easy read too. And she has so many great like journal prompts. And at the same time, like it just like, you don't have to go sit down and write over your responses. Like it's gonna get you like pretty easily. It's really awesome. And she drops so much knowledge and perspective. It's awesome. Really great read. It's only about like 5 hours long. So audiobook, 5 hours long. The the other thing I would recommend too, and I think Erica put me on this one, is 1619, the podcast. I literally am on episode 2 and I am stunned. We learned none percent of this in school. Like literally, it's amazing. It'll give you perspective. It'll give you just like a small like fraction of the generational depth of what's happening today. Erica, you got anything?
Well, I've seen stuff online, so I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. The main one that I'm doing, because I feel like right now I'm just getting so much thrown at me.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot. So right now 1619 is the one I'm focusing on. Yeah. I've seen when like and we've said these movies, like When They See Us.
Oh, yes.
Is a good one. And then the other one from her, 13th is on Netflix. Not on Netflix. Netflix. So
we should do a watch party.
But I think we could post some of it like on our highlights or something. Like take a picture and highlight it. And I know I posted the 1619. I don't know why I want to say 16 and me. Because of the
is it combining the book? Yeah.
I'm combining like all this other stuff. Isn't it 21 and me? The kind of like the
30 or 21 to me. I think that's right. Yeah.
You know, the DNA testing stuff. But for me, it's like, like that's what I'm doing right now. Just listening to that. And there was other podcasts that were recommended.
Yep.
There's a few good people to follow on Instagram. Rachel Cardell. Yeah, or Cargill.
Cargill. Spell it.
Hold on. Oh, Dear Media. You are. Yeah. Rachel. Yeah, Shai, that's a good one. Shai says, I'm reading White Fragility.
Fragility.
See, I don't know how to read.
That's my next one, Shai. Yeah, I'm going to read that one too. I can't find. It's really interesting. There's, oh gosh, what's her name? Pamela. Oh gosh, I don't. But she wrote Unpacking White Privilege, Unpacking the Invisible Knapsack. I read that when I was 18 years old. Okay.
Really?
I read that because it was my prompt for various, I don't know, was it the UC schools? I can't remember. It was my one of the prompts that I had to write a personal statement response to. So I read that a long time ago, and I'm actually interested in reading her whole paper because the White Privilege, Unpacking the Invisible Knapsack was an excerpt from a larger paper that dealt with male privilege as well. So I definitely want to read that. And I believe I have a list of resources on my personal IG and my business IG. If you guys want things to read or listen to or watch over the weekend. You found it, Erica?
Yeah, it's awesome. Rachel, and then her last name is Cargle.
Yep. Yeah, Rachel. I have a few too.
Yeah.
I wonder if we have the same people.
Maybe. But yeah, I mean, we'll continue to like post stuff and all that on the IGs. I just been finding stuff, and then I was like in a reposting like mode, and I'm like, oh god, my brain's gonna explode because it's just a lot of stuff, and a lot of people I follow have been reposting too. So I actually like people put videos up, and then I watch them, and I'm like, okay, your perspective.
And I think that's the message we have for you guys right now. Is really it starts with each one of us, each one of you. Educate yourself, check yourself. clear those, like really look at and uncover any like unconscious bias, privilege, any unconscious like racism, and that doesn't mean that you're a racist, it doesn't mean anything. It just means like these are unconscious things that have been programmed into all of us growing up here in the United States. So yeah.
All right, and with that, we'll end it.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys for joining. I know today was a little bit more heavy, but we got to keep talking about it. That's how we make change. Keep talking about it.
Absolutely.
And if someone, because they post this back on the podcast, and if you're listening to it and you're like, "But girls, this," you guys don't agree with us, then don't listen to us anymore. It's fine. Peace. That's life to you. I don't really care.
Bless you and I release you.
He bless and release you, yes. And I send you love and light.
Yes.
I'll send you love and light.
As I also say deuces.
Deuces. You know what I think about? Okay, do you guys remember the Care Bears?
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Okay, so they had... Yeah, that's what I think of. Like you just like I just send them like a rainbow of energy over, like
yeah.
Okay,
we love you guys
for real, guys.
Super healing.
We
love you. We love you so much. There's nothing like the Soul Gang.
And I guess next week we'll announce what we wanted to announce this week, but
we will do that next week.
We did.
We've got some fun stuff for you.
Yeah, we got some fun stuff. All right, guys. We love you.
Take care.
You guys. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Do.